Let's have some fun, Remax.
Recharge, yes. All right. Well, welcome everybody to Recharge. Real stories, real strategies, real estate. I am Ashley Dane, the Remax of Michigan Regional Director, joined by my co-host, Kaylee Wilkinson. And we are coming to you live from R4 in Las Vegas. The opening night in the expo. The energy here is unreal. Innovation is everywhere, and huge announcements are dropping every single day. This is the moment where you can feel where the brand is coming. And what makes this really special, we have the honor to learn about the inner workings of this strategy directly from the source about what Remax is building and how it adds value and real advantage for brokers and agents. It takes vision, it takes strategy, it takes execution, and it only matters if it brings value to your business.
And there's no better person to help us unpack that than the Executive Vice President of Strategy at Remax Holding, Travis Saxton.
The one and only, thank you.
Welcome to Recharge, Travis.
Yes.
Yeah, what an honor. So we know you as a veteran real estate expert, right? But you didn't always start with with real estate as your background. So how did you get pulled down that real estate rabbit hole?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say it started actually in my family. We were one of the first to put digital newspapers online all across the United States. And so I grew up with 12 computers, one in every room, and it was serving up newspapers. We were helping them understand the digital world. And as you know the story of newspapers, it has been a tough challenge. But I learned a couple things. One was the automotive dealers and the real estate brokerages.
The classified vertical.
Yes, they were my best friends in the industry. And so I got to know the real estate companies really well. And I was like, that is an industry I would love to impact and touch, and here I am today.
Yeah.
That is exactly how I got my start.
Is it
That's
really?
an entirely
Yes.
different conversation.
Awesome.
Did it start with 12 computers at your home, too?
I mean, I did learn how to hack in 7th grade.
Yeah,
Let's just be honest.
Yes.
Shocking.
My favorite story was I was in California. I rolled into an office of 200 agents, and this was right as newspapers were coming online. And I presented the first digital advertising experiences, and I actually showcased a dynamic ad that had real estate properties inside of it on the website, and their minds were blown. This was 30 years ago.
Oh, my God.
And so I was literally taking orders. People's hands were going up, and I couldn't even collect, the orders fast enough.
Wow.
And so I actually had to go back to my hotel room that night and learn and teach myself how to build the ad that I just showed off. And so that is how I do things. Sometimes you got to fake it until you make
That's
it.
what
right?
we're learning
Right?
today, right?
That's right.
So you've worked in consulting, tech, enterprise strategy for brands and brokerages across the country. How did that shape your perspective, providing value in a way that's slightly different from the real estate professionals we serve?
Yeah, you know what? The first time I went into any office as a real estate consultant, I was young, I was fresh, and really I just listened. I listened to their problems, I helped them craft it, and I took one nugget from that first meeting. I'd go to the next one. I'd be able to curate. Now I had 2. Now I had 4, 6, 8, 10. And before you knew it, I was the original kind of crowdsourcer of innovation and strategy. But it really gave me a leg up, seeing how brokers operated, seeing how franchises operated, being inside the boardrooms of many of our major competitors now at Remax. I know where a lot of them are going, and I'm able to chart our own course differently and to outcompete our competition. And I think you're seeing that unfold now. This was a playbook that I wrote for Erik before I met him at Remax, and ultimately now he loves it so much, we're just running it. We're crushing it, and we're charting our own course and leading from the front.
You really are, and it's very impressive what the leadership team at Remax is doing right now, and the being loud is just immaculate and impressive and well done. So, but you're not writing offers every day. So how do you truly understand what an agent needs, or is there a gap there, and how do you?
Yes, there is, and that's why I listen and I lean in. I have always surrounded myself with what I call innovation groups, where I can learn from the best and the brightest. Ashley's actually in 2 of them that we work with, where we listen, we lean in, we correct, we take action, and we want to know what's working. 90% of the stuff that we've built, I can't even take credit for. It's literally, I've been listening, leaning in, and here's a good example. RE/MAX is partnering with Canva. We're going to have the best marketing studio in the entire industry. You add our former marketing as a service to Canva. That one came out of our innovation groups, and we had 22,600 agents in this amazing network that use Canva. And so it was a no-brainer. We just listen, we lean in, and we're giving the agents what they want when they want it. And so that's how I do that. But it's really surrounding yourself with the best operators and the best practitioners. Our Trailblazers group, our Teams Innovation Group, our Leadership Advisory Council, our Independent Regions Group, our Vision Group, and now we have a Marketing Influencer Group, and we're very shortly launching an AI Center of Excellence to really pull the best AI strategies from all across the globe. So that'll really help continue the innovation and the pace of play at RE/MAX.
So listen, ask questions, solve problems. All right, so about a year ago, Erik Carlson hires you. What are you tasked with? What is your singular mission?
Well, singular mission is strategy and innovation, rebuilding the value proposition. And I really am using the word rebuilding. That might be scary for some. If you think of, the Chicago Bears. That's one of Erik's teams, and he went through some heartbreak this year. But they had to go through a rebuild, right? And while what got us here as a brand, 120 countries and 148,000 plus agents now, is not going to get us to the next level. We need to reinvent ourselves constantly. I like to say we're a startup with 52 years of experience. So that way we can run fast, we can innovate, and really take this industry by storm. And we had honestly lost our way. And so we are gaining our swagger back. Erik said that on stage, and it's probably never louder than it has ever been at RE/MAX now. So I'm proud to be a part of that story.
Well, it's very fun to participate in, to watch, and to know that every single agent and broker in this room has an opportunity to contribute to this grand strategy that the brand and direction is going. Now, you came to RE/MAX with extremely ambitious plans. What are you most proud of in your first year?
Big question.
Yeah, that's a great question. You know what? I'll say an unorthodox one. We have 50% of our network that is not in North America. It's in 118 countries. I had to do the math there. 118 countries. And we really want to lean into the global side of the business. Global listings on remax.com, bringing AI tools to our global partners, Max Engage, the marketing studio, all kinds of things, even taking Bold Trail into other languages. This will allow us to really harmonize and synchronize or align as an organization. And so I have been putting a lot of our energy in there. And it was really probably one of my biggest ahas being in this room last year, going through the Global Referral Exchange, and I had tears in my eyes. I was like, it might have been from all the shots that I was being handed, but it was ultimately the swagger, the love for this brand in all the countries really helped light a fire under me too. I knew the power of the brand, but this was one of those huge moments for us. So that's a big one, and then of course, weaponizing the brand. The brand is so powerful, and it's why we're all here, it's why we're all connected, and it now can live on its own. The new dynamic logo, I think we can take away the word RE/MAX and people will know what the balloon stands for. We've actually studied and tested that with our marketing team. And so ultimately it can live on, it's like Nike or Apple or something like that. And I really want to give our agents tools to really weaponize this brand. And I think all the way down to the local levels and some of the stories, when we did the RE/MAX spokesperson in Canada, Connor McDavid, who is an Olympian and with Team Canada, he is a huge celebrity, a huge hockey player, and we created these amazing videos. And I thought to myself, imagine if we could equip our Canadian offices and agents with those marketing materials, with physical things like hockey sticks and hockey pucks and stuff like that. That's where our marketing studio is going. You see it starting to come together with the new brand store, our master pitch series, and now some automation. And with Canva built into the marketing studio, we will have the best marketing studio, bar none, in the industry. And I'll tell you, some of the announcements you heard on stage, one-click integration with Zillow, one-click integration with Realtor.com. It's a tip of the cap to where we're going as an organization. We believe in consumer advocacy. We believe more marketing, more exposure equals more engagement, more opportunities for our agents. And we know it's proven that we get an higher average sales price and lower days on market. So that is where we are going as an organization. It's pretty exciting to see it come together in the tools that we're actually offering up to our agents.
I truly love that, because we all know that RE/MAX, they're the best professionals in the industry. To provide them with the tools to perform at the highest levels of the industry, to allow them to share their message and their value to consumers, because anyone can list a home, anyone can put a sign in the yard, but it's truly our agents that can provide extreme value to that consumer and help them have a more positive experience. So giving them these tools and these avenues to broadly share those stories, to get deeper into what they do in the transaction, is so valuable. I really appreciate everything that you're doing on this front. It's great.
Thanks.
All right, so now flipping from the vendor side to the business side, it can entirely change your perspective. You're really testing the theories that you had and you're putting them into the practice. Did any of the dynamics there surprise you? What's been harder than you expected?
Oh, good question. Being a part of a public company is a lot harder than I expected. The franchise disclosure documents, the legal process, the finance process has always been a little more challenging. I grew in nimble environments, consulting environments, where I'd go from one project to the next and I'd be consulting and crafting the strategy, but I didn't have to do the execution layer. And so that's been really the biggest learning for me. And that's why I'm actually so proud that I partner with legal and finance on all of these things. How many business cases?
That's the hot take from the whole podcast.
Our legal and finance is the best in the industry, and they're awesome. And so I partner with them. They're helping me run around. They're creating energy and excitement. And you know how all that stuff that you see there and every announcement, that's a contract behind it and a business model that we had to build. And they're keeping up with me too. So
you're keeping them busy.
Yeah,
Well done.
that's probably my biggest takeaway.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So it's electric to hear you talk about your vision for the brand and working toward a national level for that. But how does this translate to a single agent in Michigan trying to grow their business this year?
Yeah, well, obviously Erik said this on stage too, but this isn't just hearsay. We wake up every day to help agents win more listings, save them time, and make more money. And our tools are actually geared to do that. We want to make sure that they have the best marketing, the best proof points, the best seller report, the best testimonials, so that they can use that information to feed the engine. So that's a big one. And of course, I think you're going to ask me about adoption here in a second, right?
That's
a very good one.
Skipping, but that's fine. Go.
So I'll drive into adoption as well, because people buy products for two reasons. One of two reasons. It alleviates a pain, or it provides a pleasure, essentially. And so when you break down technology into those two things, and you start to really look at the basics of this, what do agents adopt, or why do they adopt it, or why don't they adopt it, kind of comes down to those two things. Yep. So there's really a couple ways that you can drive adoption in industry. One is you incentivize them to do something. That's a cool story there, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Two is you automate it for them. Three is you train, you coach, you teach, you educate. That's the harder one.
They all love number two.
Yeah, yes. You automate it as number two. Or you do it for them. You coordinate, you actually throw bodies or AI on top of it, and AI is helping us a lot with that. So those are really some of the major ways that we're driving adoption. And you think about Max Engage. Max Engage, the industry's first loyalty, rewards, and engagement platform. I'm pleased to share that a Michigan agent is always number one on the leaderboard.
Go
Shout out to Marissa Mayberry.
Marissa, she's awesome. And even my Trailblazers innovation group, who had it long before her, were like, where the heck did this lady come from? And that app alone has generated 144,000 social actions inside the first 3 months of it being live. Now think about that for a moment. We have 148,000 agents, and so not all agents are in there yet. Not all agents have used it or adopted it. It's not in every language quite yet, but we are expanding that. But that just shows you how impactful that app is. And we're incentivizing sharing points where they can cash in those points, and really tying into the competitive nature with our leaderboards and stuff like that too. So we have challenges here at R4 with Max Engage, which are exciting, and you can earn points and cash those points in for swag or future events. And that's where we're going. We want that weaved into I log into my CRM, I go to an event, I take a training or coaching class at my local brokerage. I want to be able to reward points for those behaviors that drive productivity.
Yeah, and I think you kind of answered the rest of my questions here. I mean, you show how RE/MAX offers this, and how does a RE/MAX agent leverage what you're offering and reap the results from it is just gamify it. Make it simple, make it easy, make it attainable.
And of course, it's always helpful to have proof points. So we're leaning in heavily. You saw them on stage today. If you use the Marketing Studio, 3 times more views, 5 times more engagement. It's just an amplifier to the brand, to your brand in your local market. And it does give you a leg up because we're using our size and scale and our group purchasing power to be able to deliver for our agents. And then you can also save money in many of these strategies as well.
So we are just coming off of opening general session, and I was cheering from the stands as I was hearing some of these announcements just kind of peek through the background. And I know that you've been hard at work at so many of these. All right, so on the main stage today at opening general session, they announced Canva available to RE/MAX agents. They announced a seamless one-click integration. I want to boost my property on Realtor.com. I want greater exposure for that. I want to do a showcase listing with Zillow. I can do that through Marketing Studio. Travis, tell us a little bit more about this, how it came together, and why you're so excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because everybody does business differently. And so whether you're a Realtor.com fan, a Zillow fan, both fans, neither of them, and you want to do it yourself, we're putting the marketing tools and the marketing channels that our agents desire and want. We're listening, we're hearing, and then we're ultimately integrating that into this one-click system or studio and feeding the data into a seller report so that we can answer that age-old question of what have you done for me lately. But the cool thing about Canva is while some of our competitors have Canva as well, ours will be supercharged. Here's a couple things. One is you get the MLS listings in there, of course. That's not that groundbreaking, but we'll have a seamless MLS integration. So if you are using Canva yourself, you already have a leg up there versus what you're paying for on your own. Second is the brand kit as well. You're going to have brand templates constantly evolving, adding some sizzle in there so that you can now use this new brand that we created and harness the power of that inside of Canva. Third is you're going to have the ability to build something in Canva and then one-click send it over to our marketing as a service platform, or our RE/MAX Marketing Studio being renamed now. And that's going to also help amplify your message. So you might not like a stock template inside of the Marketing Studio, so you can go design it yourself in Canva and then launch it on the Marketing Studio to take advantage of that 3 times, 5 times, 6 times story that we told on stage. And then your designs that you create will flow into your seller report so you can have the most robust seller report in the industry, and agents love their seller reports. I do know that. If you look at the 2 most adopted things in our industry, CMAs and seller reports. And so we know that the listing presentation is a huge part of our future, and that's why we're putting so much energy into the Master Pitch series and into the Marketing Studio.
And I just want to take a moment here because I think this is incredible. I just want people to let this sink in a little bit because we have always known that RE/MAX is a national leader. We have incredibly productive agents. We have this global footprint. And when I hear things like, oh, by the way, we have a almost best-in-class partnership to enable agents to tap into things like showcase listings with Zillow. And I know the details of this are still forming, but okay, I'm not even allowed to break this news, but
Go for it.
The only reason, oh my gosh, this showcase listing and the Realtor.com exposure is amazing. Now, you want to get into some of those things, you have to have huge contracts. You have to commit to high prices and numbers of listings. Well, RE/MAX and the RE/MAX team were able to create a program where you will be able to, at will, on demand, tap into this program without having to sign a contract, without having long-term commitment. You have a property and a seller. You earned this listing because you promised them you could do a showcase listing. This man right here made it possible for you to do that at a financial model you would never be able to get on your own. This is remarkable. This is the power of RE/MAX and the brand. You talk about doing it at scale, and you delivered at doing this at scale.
And saving you a lot of money in the process.
Absolutely.
It's not just about making it easy. We want to help you make more money. And so by saving you money, we're indirectly doing that. And we get group purchasing discounts for our agents. And that's why we really leaned into both of those programs. They do vary differently because they have different features and functionality. But Zillow alone, we're going to be saving almost 50% on showcase listings. That's huge.
Yeah. If anybody's done research on this, that is huge.
Yes.
That's such great news. Now, okay, so how do we make RE/MAX as a brand that truly provides tangible value, more than just name recognition? Because that's what RE/MAX has been known for decades, was the name recognition. There's always been great tools under this, but when an agent chooses RE/MAX, in your vision, what strategic advantage are they buying into?
I think in the future, as AI unfolds, and you're going to hear a lot of this when I speak on Wednesday, but I see a world where RE/MAX, our group purchasing power, our brand, is powering, and it's a tailwind behind our agents. And it already is. You heard the stats today on stage, 11.7 transactions. The next closest competitor is under 6. Let's celebrate that for a moment, because that's awesome.
Well
but it is because of the brand. It's because of, I think of people like Nimesh Patel, who, since he started this year, he has already processed 10 referrals from inside the network. I met a lady at Elite Retreat last year that did 55 deals last year, and 27 of them were within the network referrals. That is crazy. And so I see more productive agents. I see business owners that are functioning systems, like James Clear said, that are powering your business. And I see the team of the future. But behind that team of the future is an individual agent, and that individual agent is more productive. They have marketing coordinators, listing coordinators, transaction coordinators, post-transaction concierge, and that's why we're building a lot of that in the innovation labs, where you can go see the future of home ownership and how we can help reduce time or friction in the inspection to estimate process to the closing process, and even help to streamline some of the repairs inside of the home. But those systems are what's going to power and make it more efficient for agents to do business in real estate, so they can go out and do what they're best at. Face-to-face, referrals, like Brian Buffini said. And so that's why we're building a lot of this stuff. And it all does fit into an overall story.
I love that you're not limiting yourself to what we would think traditionally a brand should offer, the technology a brand should offer, the marketing that a brand should offer. You're talking about an agent providing great tools to their sellers, to their buyers, for inspections, for repairs. This feels a little bit unheard of, like a groundbreaking, revolutionary. How did you decide this was something that you needed to bring, that we needed to be able to tap into this really new and innovative concept?
This one's actually near and dear to my heart. I just live it. I'm a homeowner. I've bought and sold 3 homes through RE/MAX Professionals. Brad Whitehouse is my near and dear friend, and I take my family to the RE/MAX, his balloon festival, fall holiday festival every year. My girls love it. They bleed RE/MAX through and through. They're 9, 8, and 3. But I'm busy. I have a life and I have a job. I'm on the road a lot, and I've got a fence post that's sagging. I've got concrete that needs sealed. I had a big storm come through, and we just had to do a roof replacement. And it's like, I don't have time to do that. And if something goes wrong, I don't have time to chase it and fix it. That's where the future of home ownership is going to live, in a turnkey system. We are leading the charge, and yes, nobody is doing this. This is unprecedented, and we believe it's the tip of the spear. The peace of mind to the consumer that the single biggest asset or purchase that they do in their life, typically their home, is going to be taken care of by the trusted, productive professionals of RE/MAX.
I talk a lot about agents influencing the buying cycle, that instead of just focusing on the zero moment of truth, the moment where the buyer or seller wants to talk to an agent, let's have influence with them in every stage of that, from the moment that they actually bought that home to the moment that they bought a new job to they have a new kid to when they actually need to buy a house again. It's these types of initiatives that allow our agents to win the game, to not have to wait for the phone to call, but to be in touch with those consumers at every point, so that the only logical choice when they want to transact again is to reach out to that agent. When you offer these types of tools and technology and really creative solutions, you put it on a platter for everybody.
That's right, yeah. And I'm a big believer in using the power of the brand, but really taking our scale and putting it down into the individual agents' hands. So a lot of the tools that we've created are built from the bottom up, not top down. Now that's important. The marketing studio, we want you to design and create and craft your own stories. But I want you to be able to take advantage of our group purchasing power on Facebook or Realtor or Zillow as an example, so that you can run your own programs. At the brokerage level, I want you to be able to take these programs and really craft your own dynamic for your local market, because every market is different. And it might be you have a great partnership with painters and plumbers in your market, and so you want to plug them into our story and generate opportunities for them, which makes your business healthier, makes their business healthier, actually makes the community healthier as well. And so that's where you're going to see a lot of that on display in the future of home ownership. But it is a system that if you plug into it, the data will get stronger and it will actually power your business. Now imagine this example. I'm getting ready to close a home and I do an inspection on a home. And let's say the roof is 5 years from expiring. Let's say it's a 25-year roof and we're on year 20. Well, in that inspection, it's probably not going to be flagged as like a critical item, as an example. But 5 years from now, it might be time to relook at that. And so having that data and that insight to be able to put your roofer in front of them at that moment where they need it, that's where we want to go with the empowerment of data. And that is why we acquired Bosscat Home Services and Technology about 2 months ago. And we have rebuilt the platform so that we can make our agents more intelligent, more efficient. And we now have 667,000 homes that we know just about everything from the inspection report on the quality of the materials and services inside of the home.
I'm just shocked here. So a real estate company should have more depth than just doing the transaction?
Yes.
There's value there?
Yes,
That's
there is.
incredible.
Lots of value.
Yes.
Yes.
So
And we actually know that the average consumer spends $19,600 in that 6 months after they close. Why can't we play in that space as well? And why can't you, as agents and brokers, provide the value and bring your trusted partners into that conversation rather than hand off and we're gone?
This is how you create the raving fans. This is how you get them to refer them to their friends, their family. Everyone must work with this agent because they've helped me in so many ways that were above and beyond. All right, so moving to our brokers, what strategic advantage does a RE/MAX broker owner gain on day one that would otherwise take them years to build on their own?
I think it's the trust of the brand to be able to walk in to every listing appointment, and I don't have to spend 10 minutes describing who I am. That's huge from a listing appointment presentation, but it's also the same on the brokerage side. From a recruiting and retention perspective, it's like we have that trust. We know our agents are more productive than the average agent, and so it really gives you a leg up in that confidence side of the equation, helping you guys day one to really empower yourselves to go out and be confident and really recruit or retain agents. So that's a big one. And then I think, of course, the toolbox now with the weaponized brand is getting so much better that I truly believe that nobody can compete with us in the industry from any other brand now. And I've seen it because I helped craft a lot of our competitors' tech strategies. And now with everything that you're seeing here come full circle on display, we have now eased past our competitors and we will continue to lead from the front. We're not stopping. The innovation is just going to continue to ramp up. It's funny because Erik will even say, I think we should be doing 2 times as much stuff. And that's our CEO that is literally leading the charge.
Yeah, lead from the front and fly. I love it.
Yep.
And it's interesting because I think when I think of a new broker owner and they're coming into the business, it would not be possible for them to purchase all of the different tools that are available. To build the value proposition that they can hand to experienced agents, new agents, when they come under the banner of RE/MAX, as an individual broker, it would not be possible. They couldn't fund it. They couldn't get the contracts. They couldn't get the deals.
No, Max AI alone, Max AI is a $1,500 a month enterprise-grade AI lead nurture, lead conversion assistant. We're giving it to our agents for $25 in the United States, it's $35 in Canada, and it's like $99 for your office to have it. It's a screaming deal to have that. Same thing with the Zillow partnership, to be able to get it down over 50% off now with the showcase listings. Huge advantage for our brokers to use this as a carrot. Go out and recruit now as Compass and Anywhere, and those guys are focused on their merger and some of the things that they're going to have to absorb. They're going to be distracted. And we just converted one of the top Compass teams in the whole country, joined the Ashton Real Estate Group in Denver, Colorado. And that's a unique story because they came to us because they wanted to lean more into the portals, Realtor.com, and they built a lot of their business off of Realtor.com. And so we were the only ones that were really leaning into that. And so once they learned that Gary was a huge Realtor.com team, we made the connection, brought them in, and just a couple weeks ago now, we brought them over for Compass. And you're going to see that that flywheel has started, and our phones are ringing.
That's lovely.
We love it.
Yes.
So, looking out at that national landscape, who is our biggest competition? Who do you have your eye on?
It's funny because we were at dinner on Sunday night, and we were having sushi. I was with Nimesh and a few others, and we were having some fun. And Josh Bulgren, who's been around the industry for a while, he's on my team now. He saw what we were doing, and he got really energized about the brand and about the innovation groups, and so he's been instrumental. He said something that was so simple yet so profound, and he's like, I can't remember the exact words, but it was something like, I'm so tired of companies reinventing a business model so that agents can save money just to fail. And it's like, you think about that, it's like, how many more business models can we invent in this industry where an agent can save a few bucks just to fail? And that's what's happening out there with all of these new models that are rolling out. It's just a little sliver different than the next one, and they're stealing from each other and cannibalizing. And so we really truly want to focus on our innovation, look through the windshield, not the rearview mirror. So we know what we're doing is super out there and really leading from the front.
I like to hear it. All right, so here's a trick question. Should agents be using brand offered technology? What would you say to an agent who thinks I should use my own system?
Oh boy. I've been around this industry for now 25 years, and every time I'd roll into a rollout or a launch of something, there's always that agent or two that were like, oh no, I'm never going to do it. It's my data, it's my stuff. I mean, I'll even sign a NDA with you and say, we're not going to, use your contacts or anything like that. It's just, why would a brand want to do that? It would literally sabotage, cut all of our legs off. And so that's my story is trust in the brand. We've built this brand 52 years. We're not doing anything with the data. We want to empower you. Everything that we do will be built so that you are more productive. And that's our promise to you as well as an agent. So, and I think we're getting over it a lot too. There's been some false starts in the past, maybe some mistakes at RE/MAX, but we are really listening, really leaning in. You'll see the new stuff. It works. It works really well. And it's a new day at RE/MAX.
And I think that also, in the same way we were talking about a broker, they would not be able to purchase the technological package that RE/MAX can offer brokers. The same is true of agents. And so many of these systems can be integrated. Where we're at today and where we'll be at a year from now are two entirely different places. So when you tap into things like Marketing Studio, it's going to give you access to different areas and access points in the RE/MAX system. It really helps when you lean into these systems because they can all be cohesive and really help create this ecosystem that agents can effectively and efficiently do their business. And it's when we enable agents to do their business efficiently using technology that they can see business value and business growth. So what does a fully engaged RE/MAX agent look like? What do you need RE/MAX agents to do in 2026?
You know what I'm most excited about was when we had to rebuild the value proposition, we knew that there was a little bit of a trailing effect, which meant like now we had to train on it. We had to support it. We had to get agents to use it. We had to incentivize agents to use it. We had to automate some things. A lot of that underlying connectivity is now happening as well. And so like we're showing off Skyview. I can see the sign from right here in our innovation labs. And Skyview is being trained on how do I talk about the tools, how do I use the tools 7 times, 7 different ways. That's an old ninja adage in the industry. And the reason why we're doing that is because we believe an AI-powered agent will outperform an agent that doesn't use AI. And so Skyview is going to help us do that. It's going to make our agents more efficient. I'd love for our agents to really interact with our technology in a whole different way. It's my assistant. I just chat with him or her, and ultimately Sky or Max is going to do some of the work for me. And it's going to take, this is a technical term, but it's going to take the unstructured data of my loose conversations, my CRM data, my relationships, even my sphere, and it's going to pull it all in, and it's going to allow me to interact in a way that has never been done before. And that's where we're going, and we're getting ahead of that with Sky and Skyview, now available for on display inside of the innovation labs. And Sky will help write your emails for you. It will help pull your next best actions inside of your CRM, and that's just a start. We're going to really get ramped up with this.
This is absolutely music to my ears.
I was just going to say that.
Soapbox
Talking
moment.
their language.
Yeah.
So if you were an agent today, what would you double down on?
So yes, I would double down on the AI tools that Remax offers, get comfortable with them, Max, Sky, and we have others. Folios inside of Bold Trail from the back office perspective. We're going to continue. The marketing studio has AI built in, and that's one of the reasons why, if you just look at Facebook alone, we're able to achieve a 26% engagement rate on Facebook with our dynamic ads. And it's not because our ads are better, it's because the AI is actually altering as the audience is morphing and interacting with it. And so we know who's going to most likely click on the ad and engage with it. So we want to put the ad more in front of those people. So that's a cool example of AI kind of under the hood being inside of one of our systems.
And wait, let me ask a question. Will that data flow back to the seller report?
And it will.
Oh
yes,
my gosh.
There it is.
That's very good. Good job.
So if you were to fast forward 5 years, what becomes possible for an agent who fully leans into Remax, the brand?
You know, I really hope that we can deliver over 20% of an agent's business, winning listings, saving time, making more money, and we're doing that for every agent in the network, 148,000 agents. And so we have to get more efficient. We have to study. We need the proof points to make that happen. And that's why we're very hyper-focused on this story, so that we can ultimately come back and say, see, we told you so. The tools that we've launched are built for an intended reason. Max Refer as an example. We want to generate a huge chunk of the agent's business with referrals from the network. And that's probably one of the secret weapons that nobody in this network talks about outside of the network. The fact that a Namesh can get 10 referrals in the first 2 months of the year, or that lady that I met at Elite that pulled 27 referrals. It's just the power of this brand, the magnetism of this brand, and once you leave it, you lose it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Travis, your energy is palpable. Like it's infectious. It's great. What excites you most about where Remax is headed?
All right. Well, here you go. I'm wearing my RGL hat. You see the cool golf simulator. I talked a lot about the innovation labs and the future of home ownership, but I love the connectivity, the community, and the aspirational nature of bringing our lifestyles to life. Now, we're starting with golf, Remax Golf Lifestyles.
Oh, is that the hat?
That's what it stands
He's wearing
for.
the swag.
RGL stands for Remax Golf Lifestyles. I'm really excited about that element, but it is just the start. We are building the system to be able to replicate this for every lifestyle.
Okay,
and
so tell me what it is. What is this niche that we're doing?
So Remax Golf Lifestyles elevated certification program, but the certification gets you an annual membership into a whole system that has leads in there. We acquired a company called Golf Life Navigators, and they generate thousands of leads to agents. It's like eHarmony meets real estate golf courses and real estate agents with the consumer. So a kind of a triangle there. So we've got leads flowing in. We have a partnership with USA Today and Golf Week magazine. They've already started running Remax content on their websites. and they will be our media partner where they can amplify the message, get the communities out there, get the agents out there, get consumers driving into the funnel. We'll have an elevated experience with RE/MAX Golf Lifestyle's website, which will be focused on the actual lifestyle and how we guide consumers through this lifestyle choice. And luxury isn't a price point. Luxury is the story, the guide, the lifestyle that we are bringing. And so by naturally elevating our brand and bringing more of an aspirational play to it, that's how we're going to continue to rise the ladder in the industry. And RE/MAX Golf Lifestyles is a big one. But I'm also very keen on putting a RE/MAX Golf Lifestyles office inside of golf courses, inside of simulator or virtual golf courses as well. And so imagine a world where we're cranking, we've got media partners, and we're seeing our signs everywhere, driving activity back to the brand. And then you have the confidence as a RE/MAX Golf Lifestyle agent to walk into a golf course and be like, I have the best data reports, I have the best tools to power your membership and to make your club healthier, your community healthier. That's what we're building with RE/MAX Golf Lifestyles. And then you fast forward and you add on equestrian or pickleball or culinary experiences.
Or cottage
skiing.
and lakes.
Cottage and lakes. In Canada, they love their cottages, that's for sure.
We're just mini Canada. It's
Yeah,
great.
mini Canada. Yeah. Minnesota and Michigan. We're pretty close.
Land of the lakes.
Yes.
Fine, yes. Yes. Oh, so this really seems like a unique approach here to have agents be able to have a specialization, to have a value, to articulate that value, but also to provide value back to those sellers and true value back to the buyers. This is unique. I haven't heard of anybody else pursuing this path. How did you come to this?
You know what? I met this company, Golf Life Navigators, about 7 years ago, pre-COVID, and I knew instantly this was a business model that needed to be within a bigger brand. And I was like, I hope someday we find that match. And fast forward to when I joined, it was no more than 2 months, and we brought them in. The PGA of America is involved, and we're able to bring them in, sit down. We whiteboarded like crazy, and we came up with what you're seeing now unfold today. And so I've known for quite some time. I just needed the right vehicle to be able to launch RE/MAX Golf Lifestyles.
Very cool.
I love so much of what you're doing. I love that we have the opportunity to have kind of this best-in-class marketing studio with such a broad array of options that agents can choose from. You don't have to be an agent that loves this product to use this. There's 12 other options in there that you can utilize. I love that we're leaning into AI, that we're going to be providing RE/MAX agents with the tools that they need to be able to compete and have leverage and have efficiencies with technology. I love that we're giving them unique opportunities to have niche conversations about their expertise, their specialty, that can provide value to everyone around. This is the full package. Why would an agent want to be anywhere else?
Don't know. I don't know.
No, Travis, thank you.
That's a question I can't answer. I don't know.
Okay, now to all of you that are in the crowd, you know that it's time to spread this message, right? We have the power and the strength in numbers. We have the scale. We've got the dominance. Now, as you say, get loud, right?
That's right.
Yes. Travis, thank you so much for giving us a peek behind the curtain here, the strategy. It's exciting. And the vision that you paint for our future is honestly so inspiring. So kudos to everything that you've accomplished so far. You've got raving fans in Michigan. We're cheering you on. And we cannot wait to see it all play out in the future. Now, RE/MAX R4 audience, you have been absolutely fantastic. If you would like to watch this episode or see any of the other fantastic and engaging conversations we've had about the industry, please be sure to subscribe to our podcast, our Recharge podcast. We should have a QR code up here available for you. You can scan that. It will take you to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. We love to have conversations with agents, with brokers. There's real strategies. There's real stories. We want to tell the story of real estate. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Travis. This has been fantastic. And let's go, RE/MAX.
Let's go.
Thank you.